Greetings, I'm Professor Hobo, and welcome to another HOBOTECH product review. We've seen a lot of new LFP, or lithium iron phosphate batteries, pop into the market this past year, and prices are finally coming down. Power Queen is one of those brands offering new models at lower prices. I've reviewed several Power Queen models in the past, and they've always offered a great value. Today we check out their new 100 amp hour Group 24 trolling motor battery with low temperature charging protection. I breathe toxic fumes and even slice my hand open to answer your burning question, is it any good? Let's find out. HOBOTECH. This Power Queen packs a 12 volt 100 amp hour lithium iron phosphate battery with a 4,000 cycle life at 100% depth of discharge using grade A cells. As for size and weight, it measures in approximately 13 by 7 by 8.5 inches at an exceptionally light 22 pounds. When I picked this thing up for the first time, it felt much lighter than a typical Group 24 lithium battery. Apparently it is. As for the BMS, the internal battery management system is rated at 100 amps both charge and discharge rate, which is equivalent to 1280 watts. This means you can both charge and discharge this battery at 100 amps or 1280 watts indefinitely. And as for series parallelability, it supports up to 4 batteries in series for 48 volt operation and up to 4 batteries in parallel for up to 400 amps. Now technically you can have as many batteries as you want in parallel as long as you use bus bars, but when hooking directly to the battery terminals, the limit is 400 amps to prevent thermal damage. The case itself is rated IP65 water and dust resistant, meaning you can do anything short of submerging the battery in water. You can splash it with fresh and or salt water and leave it in the weather without issue. As for protections, this is one of the few lower cost batteries on the market that also has built-in low temperature charging protection as well as high temperature protection. This battery will not allow you to charge it if the internal cell temperature is below freezing, and this is to protect the cells from damage. Note that this is not ambient air temperature, but temperature inside the battery of the internal cells. It also offers the standard short circuit protection, overcurrent protection, as well as overcharge and over discharge protections. As for features, it comes with a full color user's manual, which is actually quite well done. As you can see, it even has some color pictures in there. They also have a color quick start guide, as well as including some funny stickers. It also includes a detachable handle, a pair of M8 terminal screws with plastic caps. As for the warranty, Power Queen does offer a 5-year manufacturer's warranty. And of course, we took the Power Queen here into my secret laboratory where we performed all kinds of crazy experiments on it, including a single-fisted battery capacity test. As for the results of the battery capacity test, were 101.6 amp hours, which is typical for this size. Let's test the BMS. I want to check and make sure that this allows just enough headroom, but not too much for discharging and charging. So let's start with the discharge test. Okay, here we are at our baseline, 100 amps. Let's go ahead and increase the load until it shuts down. 110, 120, 130, 140, 150. And it shuts down at 150. Okay, let's check recover time. See how long it takes for it to turn back on its own without me touching it. I did stop the timer a little bit late, so it took about 30 seconds to recover. Okay, so it allows 150 amps for about 5 seconds. That's perfect because you want it to allow some over amperage when it comes to discharge, but you don't want it to allow too much for too long. So 150 amps for about 5 seconds, that is right on the nose. Now let's go ahead and check and see how long can we run it for 5 minutes. Let's try it a little bit above 100 and see if it goes 5 minutes, and if it doesn't, we'll just keep reducing it until it does. All right, we're starting the test, 120 amps. Let's see if we can make it 5 minutes. Okay, at 120 amps, it made it just over 2 minutes before it shut itself down. So let it go through its recovery method, and we're gonna try again at 110 amps. All right, there we are, 110. Let's see if it'll go with 5 minutes. All right, here we are coming up on 5 minutes at 110 amps. No problems. So it's allowing 10% over, which is fine. That's completely acceptable. It's not overheating, it's not shutting off, but it won't allow 120. So we know that's the limit right there. We should be able to run 110 amps indefinitely. Next, we're going to do a 300 amp surge test. We're going to just dump 300 amps into this instantly, see how quickly it shuts off. Safety margin should be somewhere between 5 and 10 seconds. If it's anything longer than that, then the battery might start getting too hot. Components inside might start having problems. Okay, there we are, 300 amps, and it actually shut off in about 2 seconds. I want to repeat that quickly just to make sure. Yeah, it was only about 2 or 3 seconds. So it passed the surge test also with flying colors. This next test is the charging test. So this does have a 100 amp BMS that allows both charging and discharging at 100 amps. Let's see how much more over the 100 amp limit it will allow before shutting down. We'll start at 120 amps. If it passes that test, we'll go ahead and work our way up. Here we are at 120 amps. Let's see how long it will run charging. Oh, and it's already, you notice, look at the reading there. So right around the 30-second mark, it stopped charging, and now it is recovered after its 20 seconds, and it's going to start charging again. Okay, let's do the same test again, this time at 110 amps. All right, we're coming up on 5 minutes, and we're still charging at 110 amps, no problem. So it passed this test by allowing not 120, but only 10% over at 110. Those were the results of the battery tests. It does allow about 10% over when charging and 10% over when discharging. So even though it has a 100 amp BMS, it will allow you to do 110 amps of both charging and discharging. But if you try to push it to 115, 120, it'll shut it down within about 20 to 30 seconds. All those results show that this is a very safe battery. In fact, this is a major improvement over the last Power Queen battery that I tested last year. This thing has a very good BMS inside. Now, there is one other feature of this that we need to test. It says it right here, low temp. Now, it's almost May here in Arizona. It's not below freezing outside anymore. I do not have room in my deep freezer for this battery, and I really don't want to wait 12 hours to do this test. So there's only one way to find out, does the low temperature protection work and what kind of BMS it has? And that is the battery degenerator. So we're gonna go ahead and fire this thing up. It's been a long time since I used it, and we're gonna go ahead and chop the top, see what's inside, and we're gonna test that low temperature sensor. I wonder how many years I just took off my life with those plastic fumes. So yeah, let's put this thing away. We're done with this. First thing I notice here, this has some nice chunky wires. These are bolted on there, and it is glued. Look, they even have sleeves on the cable. This one is glued in place as well. This is Power Queen S12100 BMS 4S 100 amp. Looks like I did actually hit one of the wires with my saw. That's okay. This battery is never going to get used. Everything in here looks very good. Everything's glued in. Everything is held in place very well. Okay, so this looks like it's just glued in. I'm fairly certain this is the temperature sensor because I could see a black wire going to the board, like where a heat sink would be, and then another set of black wires going down onto one of the battery leads. Everything else here looks like it's for the BMS. Now the fun part's going to be, I have to get that sensor out without breaking it. So I'm going to do that off camera.
1 hour later.
So here's where they decided to put the temp sensor. It is glued up against the battery at the bottom like this. Now this is as far away as possible from the BMS, so I had to rip the whole battery out. I mean, just look at this mess. I ended up cutting myself and bleeding. This foam was just not coming out. I was sawing it. I was trying to slide a metal ruler in there to slip it, to get it to come out, and finally I got it. It's been stressful. My hands are hurting now. I've tore it up pretty bad on this sharp plastic. But I got the sensor out, so let's go ahead and put it in some water. I've never seen a battery so overbuilt before. This sensor was not only glued down, but taped the entire way, so I couldn't pull it through. This was glued on top of it. This was a nightmare to get off. Now I have to try to get the sensor out underneath here, and this is all taped up. Like, they tape and glue everything on this, which is great for build quality, but man, they don't want you to get any of these apart. Look, every one of these screws got glue on it. Every single one of them, to prevent them from turning. Very overbuilt. Moment of truth, here's the sensor. I got some salty ice water. It should be at least freezing air below. Here we are charging at 145 watts. We're waiting to see if that goes to 0 once we put this in there. So hopefully it does. Hopefully I didn't destroy the sensor, or there we go. Pretty instantly it went to 0, which means that the freezing temperature protection does work. Should be able to warm this up pretty quickly and it should start charging again. There we go, 10 amps. So the low temperature charging protection does in fact work on this Power Queen. And for the record, I did actually scan the cells on the battery to see, could I look up and see what brand they are or what type they are. Now, I was able to scan the QR code. It didn't come up with any results when I did a search. I'm gonna go ahead and put it up on the screen in case one of you wanna try it and see if you can find out what brand and grade these cells are. So there are the results of the teardown of this battery. The internals are of an exceptional quality. They did include wire sleeves on all the main wires. They do glue and tape down all the wires, connections, and screws. And the low temperature sensor was correctly taped to the lower center of the cell pack. This thing was very difficult to get apart. And that should generally mean it's gonna last you a pretty long time. So what do I think about this battery? Well, I think Power Queen really hit this one out of the park this time. This battery is only 18 cents per watt hour, making it one of the least expensive on the market with a real working low temperature protection system. It has a fantastic and very safe BMS, IP65 water resistance, and a lightweight package. I mean, this thing is pretty lightweight, and it offers a competitive 5-year warranty. Now, my only gripe is that these manufacturers are still putting these batteries in oversized cases for literally no reason. A third or more of the space inside of these battery cases consists of foam. Why? I could see if they were selling starter batteries and wanted to match battery size trays under the hood of your vehicle. However, these are not marketed as starter batteries, but they are marketed as trolling batteries where size would matter. So you'd think the smaller they make them, the better. Also, as an RV house battery or solar-powered storage battery, you'd want them as small as possible so you can fit more in the same space. So Power Queen and the rest of you, please answer, why are you filling your batteries full of foam? Why not make them as small as possible? Inquiring minds want to know. So what's the use case for this battery? Now, being a trolling motor battery doesn't mean that it can't be used as a house battery in an RV or as a solar storage battery. Of course it can. The only real difference between a trolling battery and a standard battery is the quality of the BMS or battery management system. The BMS inside this battery is simply of superior quality and provides a lot more protection than a standard BMS. Since it's designed to run an electric motor for long periods of time, it has to run more strict parameters that won't let the battery overheat or shut down. The recovery time is also a lot faster. Where other batteries would take several minutes to reset, we found this one resets in 20 to 30 seconds. So say you do manage to somehow push the battery too hard, it will just simply shut off for a few seconds to let you know you did something wrong, and then you can be back on your merry way. So you may be thinking, this is a battery designed to run an electric trolling motor. A starter motor in a car or truck is just an electric motor, right? So why can't I use this as a starter battery in my car, truck, or van? Reality is that a starter motor for a small 4-cylinder car still pulls typically over 150 amps. You may be able to start a small engine with this, however this battery will not charge below freezing. I don't know anywhere in the continental US where it doesn't go below freezing, at least at night for a few weeks at a time in the winter. So this simply won't work as a starter battery for your vehicle. Now you could use it in an emergency for a few starts, but don't install it as a primary starter battery. It is designed for trolling motors, but you could also use it in golf carts. At least I don't see any reason why you couldn't use it as an EV battery, as long as that draw is 100 amps or less per battery. Since this can be placed in series up to 48 volts, it should certainly work in golf carts and other small electric vehicles. Now, how do you charge this thing? Any charger that supplies 14.4 to 14.6 volts will fully charge this battery. You don't need a special lithium charger or a special lithium solar controller. Just be aware if you kill the battery totally dead, the BMS will shut off, and you'll just need to jump start it back to life from another 12-volt source. The main reason to have a lithium-capable charger is that it'll do that jump start automatically for you. Most of the time your inverter is going to beep or shut down long before the battery is completely dead. Now, I do have a dedicated video on how to jumpstart one of these dead lithium iron phosphate batteries. If you want to check that out, I'll go ahead and put a link up here at the top of the screen. Now, what about price? It's actually pretty fantastic. Power Queen is offering a special discount to viewers of HOBOTECH and is selling this premium built battery with a 5-year warranty for only $239. This is an exceptional price at 18 cents per watt hour, as I tried finding the cheapest 100 amp hour battery on Amazon that had low temp protection, and the cheapest was from a brand of unknown quality that I couldn't even pronounce, and they only offered a 1-year warranty. It was a whopping $20 cheaper than this Power Queen. So is it really worth that shot in the dark to say a lousy $20? I'll just leave that up to you. I think that most are going to agree that the Power Queen battery offers an exceptional quality at a rock bottom price, making it by far one of the best values in 100 amp LFP batteries to date. And if you can believe it, there are still brands out there selling deep cycle lead acid batteries for more money than this, and folks are still apparently buying them, and I'm not sure why. Now, what if you need something bigger than 100 amp hours? Power Queen also offers both 200 and 280 amp sizes of the same trolling battery, both with a 200 amp version of the same BMS that also includes low temperature protection. You can use the links provided to check those out. So if you're interested in this product, the link is going to be in the description of this video below. I'm also going to put a link here at the bottom of the screen that you can type in manually, along with a QR code you can scan with your mobile device if you're watching me on TV. That'll take you on over to the Power Queen website, where you can check out their full lineup of 12-volt trolling batteries. Thanks for watching. If you learned something today, don't forget to give me that thumbs up below. And if you're not a subscriber already, you know what to do. That's it for now. Till next time.
Odin commands you to like and subscribe, and clean my litter box. RV Golf Guy, Brian Blue, Bruce Johnson, Jason Sirocco, I'm Steve Eisen.